Jeff Bezos is one of the richest men on the planet. With a net worth of $201.7 billion, it's hard to imagine what someone could do with that much money. Many people would never see this amount of money in their lifetime, so the idea of spending it is beyond a lot of folks. Jeff Bezos has used his money to buy companies, knickknacks, trips, and many other things, but there are lots of purchases that Bezos has made that would surprise many people. Today, we're going to look at the things that Jeff Bezos owns that many people wouldn't expect him to own. Number 10, a giant clock that only ticks once every year. Bezos didn't buy just any clock, as middle-class or upper-middle-class people might do if they wanted to decorate their home and spice things up. Bezos didn't want to put money down on just any kind of clock. He decided to buy a grandfather clock that only ticked and moved along once a year. It's kind of cool to think that 1 hour on that clock will amount to a grand total of 60 years. We have to wonder, though, if a regular clock could have been set to that kind of ticking situation without having to buy an expensive clock that only ticks once a year. In fact, the clock itself cost roughly about $42 million. Bezos said the clock is supposed to symbolize long-term thinking. It's hard to say whether or not this was a strange purchase or not, but if it helps Bezos feel motivated to continue inventing and fires up his entrepreneurial spirit, then it's a good purchase. Number 9, the largest real estate deal in New York City history, for now. Since Jeff Bezos has a lot of money, he can obviously decide to live wherever he chooses to. He has many homes, but he's known now for the fact that he sealed one of the biggest real estate deals in New York City. Quickly after he divorced his estranged wife, he decided to do something to either celebrate or help him feel better. He purchased 3 apartments overlooking Madison Square Garden to do this, for a grand total of about $80 million. This was one of the biggest deals in real estate history at the time, and it was such a huge deal for New York. For the time, it was the largest deal that was secured by any purchaser of homes or apartments in New York history. However, this huge purchase wasn't where Bezos decided to end his real estate shopping spree. He wanted more, and he could afford more, so he purchased a 4th apartment for $16 million, so he could combine them all into one huge penthouse spanning to about 23,000 square feet and 3 floors, starting from the 20th floor. The property has an amazing rooftop terrace with a pool, accompanied by some great views. Number 8, the fastest commercial jet in the world. Why travel on public transportation when you can purchase your own commercial jet? That's exactly what Jeff Bezos asked himself before buying one of the fastest commercial jets in the world. Bezos decided to spend about $65 million and an undisclosed amount for the interior, so we don't even know how much it cost in total, for a Gulfstream G650ER, which is one of the fastest jets in the world, according to Men's XP. Private jets tend to be the most common option for billionaires, but Bezos' purchase allows him to zip across the world in a matter of seconds to wherever he needs to be. It was the perfect practical purchase for the entrepreneur, and it probably helps him exponentially with work and getting around. Number 7, a historic museum that was converted into a home. Around 2016, Jeff Bezos decided to buy an old historical textile mill for about $23 million. The old mill in question was the Washington Textile Museum, which after the purchase was converted into a 27,000 square foot home. When he purchased the museum, he decided to make sure that its history would be preserved. He put the important parts of the museum as exhibits in George Washington University, according to Men's XP. This was one of his more practical purchases as well, seeing that a home is not only a great investment, but it's hard to argue that saving priceless pieces of history isn't also a good investment. Number 6, the Whole Foods market chain. This expensive purchase was one of Bezos' more business-like deals that may seem a little weird to the outsider. In an effort to compete with other grocery stores as well as help his growing grocery delivery service of Amazon, called Amazon Fresh, Bezos decided to purchase the chain Whole Foods Market for a whopping $13.7 billion. When he was asked why he made this investment, he was reported saying that he purchased the chain for its excellent choice and selection of products and their ability to make eating healthy fun. By the way, we're on a mission to help people like yourself make billions, so make sure to subscribe if that sounds like you. Number 5, his very own rocket company. While Bezos may already have his own incredibly fast commercial jet, that's not where he wanted to stop his plans of flight or exploration. Just like Elon Musk, Bezos wanted to make space exploration a reality. He invested about $1 billion into a space exploration company called Blue Origin. This company was something that Bezos is passionate about, and he is using the company to fulfill his dreams of space exploration. Bezos also wants to make space travel accessible for people who don't have lots of money, so his company is trying to come up with a way to make it cheaper. They are working on making reusable space rockets, which would lower the cost of space exploration for businesses, adventures, and more. The funding for this company comes from the liquidation of Amazon stock. In 2019, Bezos thanked his customers for helping him make his space dream a reality. He told his customers that every purchase that they made from Amazon would fuel his dream to go to space, and he seemed genuinely appreciative of it. It will be interesting to see what kind of developments Jeff Bezos makes in the field of space exploration, since he's obviously so passionate about it. Number 4, a newspaper. While the newly digitizing world has threatened the world of the printing press, Bezos' investing in a newspaper was definitely a shock to many people. However, in order to prevent the Washington Post from going extinct, Bezos offered up about $250 million to buy the newspaper and allow it to remain intact and alive. A 2013 deal made with the CEO of the paper's company made Jeff Bezos the official owner of Washington's flagship paper and a series of other websites under the name. Given the history of what the billionaire has bought, it's no surprise that he made this purchase in order to save the newspaper from going out of business. While many newspapers switched to digital and fewer paper prints, it seems to make sense that Bezos saw the opportunity in front of him and took it. Now he has another source of revenue. Number 3, a Beverly Hills mansion. Bezos' next big purchase was a Beverly Hills mansion that was once owned by studio head Jack Warner. After his split with his ex-wife Mackenzie Scott, Bezos not only purchased the most expensive New York real estate deal, he also decided to buy himself a large mansion. He took this lavish home off of its owner's hands for a whopping $165 million. He purchased it from musical legend David Geffen. This home was made by the Golden Age acclaimed architect Sumner Spalding, and it has roughly about 9 acres that boost the main house's 14,000 square feet. The sprawling grounds feature a golf course, swimming pool, gardens, and a tennis court. Bezos dropped another $10 million on an adjacent house, which has 6 fireplaces, a media room, and more. When he purchased this prime Los Angeles area estate, Bezos had been dating Lauren Sanchez for more than 2 years. Sanchez has ties to the City of Angels as a former news anchor for a local Fox show, and she has experience as an actor. In his divorce, Bezos reportedly forfeited his former Beverly Hills retreat, so that could be why he put down roots in the metropolis area. Number 2, expensive yachts. Purchasing all of the above objects was expensive enough as it was, but it seemed that it wasn't enough for Bezos. One of the more recent expensive purchases he made was a $500 million super yacht that has been a big deal. The 417-foot-long vessel will span several decks and have 3 enormous masts, and will also come with its own support yacht that's outfitted with a helipad. This is probably a great purchase, considering that he must have to use his helicopter all the time for work, and now he could technically get to and from work even when he is out at sea. Further specific details on the mega yacht, which was ordered before the pandemic and is expected to be ready soon, are shrouded in secrecy. The things mentioned above are the only facts that we know about the yachts that he purchased. Number 1, Bezos' Day One Fund. After getting some pushback from his critics in regards to where his money was being sent or even spent on, Bezos decided to begin investing in philanthropy. He began a project called the Bezos Day One Fund, where he invested about $2 billion worth of seed money to set up top-rated preschools in low-income areas, in addition to supporting homeless families as well. Good to his word, the Bezos Day One Fund continues to be at work as the organization fulfills the highly engaged entrepreneur's financial legacy in the areas to which he has contributed a giant sum of his seemingly endless fortune. And if you found this video useful, then you'll love these. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and we will personally reply to your comment.